A nice hot day in Florida. Drive Pick Stadium, our site for MLS Next Pro action here on this Sunday afternoon for the rubber match of the season between Inter Miami 2 and FC Cincinnati 2. These two teams have faced off twice so far this year. The first time, a 3-1 win for Miami. The second time, a 3-1 win for Cincinnati. As you look, wins have been hard to come by for these two teams sitting at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So a big opportunity here today to get 3 points to help move up the standings in case of FC Cincinnati potentially. But for these two teams, they are playing for pride, and for these young players, an opportunity to showcase themselves. A ton of big action going on around the league. Crown Legacy facing off against New York Red Bulls 2 right now. Some other big games coming up as well. Chicago Fire up against SKC trying to fight into the playoffs. So we will keep you updated with all of that as this game goes along. But for these two teams, as I said, an opportunity to take the season series between the two teams, an opportunity to get back to winning ways for both squads, and to try and go into the end of the season with a little bit of confidence for these two teams playing very young groups here today. Two academies, of course, new to the scene, with two of the youngest clubs in Major League Soccer in FC Cincinnati and Inter Miami. And, of course, a ton going on with their first teams. That's a lot of excitement. FC Cincinnati leading the Supporters' Shield race. Miami, of course, with the arrival of Messi. But a ton going on into the second teams and through to the academy. So a lot to talk about as we go through this match from front to back for both of these teams. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. A big debut start for Ty Barton in the back line. He will get the start at center back alongside Farid Sar Cairo. Of course, Santi Morales will pull the strings in midfield, one of the most exciting young attacking players in the U.S. Perkovic and Flores out on the wings, and Cameron Johnson getting just his 6th start of the season. Up top, a U.S. Costa Rican youth international will try and lead the line, as that has been a rotating group between Brian Destin, Johnson, and a few other cast of characters at center forward. On the other side for Cincinnati, another debut start. For them, it will be Nicholas McHenry at center back in this 3-man back line. No Joey Apononu, who had been a consistent starter for this group, or London Agado. So a younger starting back line for this team. Lucas Tamares, one of the most exciting young players for Cincinnati, just signed out of the Hoffenheim Academy, Dominican Republic, U20 international. He gets to start in midfield alongside Salim Adams. And a big opportunity for Philip Horton, just his 3rd start of the year, his first since August 4th. He gets the start alongside Ben Stitz up top. For Horton, coming out of UVA late, signed with FC Cincinnati 2, just his 11th appearance of the year. Still looking for his first goal of the year as well. As we get kicked off, Inter Miami in their pink kits going left to right on your screen. FC Cincinnati in their blue kits going right to left. Elton Garcia, our head official. His assistant referees, Fritz Barbaruz and Juan Pablo Casas. And our 4th official, Jasmine Peralta, for this match. McHenry gets the early touch on the ball. McHenry has played 31 minutes in MLS Next Pro in his career. 8 of them coming against Columbus back on August 20th, 23 minutes against TFC in a victory all the way back on March 28th in his 2nd year playing as an academy player in this MLS Next Pro side. So huge responsibility for McHenry at that right center back spot. Cole Jensen, his 5th start of the year in goal for this Inter Miami group. So through the lines into the feet of Morales. Morales out wide for Perkovic. Perkovic now looking to go 1v1. Gets by McHenry. Perkovic with the strike and almost an early goal. Miami scoring the 4th minute in their victory back in June. Perkovic trying to make it even quicker here. He's able to get inside on his favored right foot. Unfortunate for Cincinnati that that one was wide of that near post. Machado goes past the first line of presser, but will turn it over with his through ball attempt. So Machado on the left side of these three center backs. Kai Thomas getting the start in the middle alongside Nicholas McHenry. Matthew Schenfeld at right wing back. Haroon Conte at left wing back. Both of those academy players playing with this MLS Next Pro side. The strength of this team is going to be central midfield. Salim Adams, Lucas Tamarez, and Jesus Castellano in that role. And Philip Horton partnering Ben Stitz, sitting on 7 goals in MLS Next Pro, 1 goal in MLS action as well. Conte can't find a teammate, it's turned over. Now the counterattack started by Johnson. Out wide for Flores. Flores find the run of Pim. Ty Barton and Sarsar Cairo in front of Cole Jensen. Israel Boatwright getting to start at right back today. Nick Sessa, the senior statesman of this team at 23 years old, getting the start at left back. Young central midfield with Ricardo Montenegro partnering Jack Pim behind Santi Morales. And that front attacking three we already have seen go to work with Flores on the right, Johnson at center forward, and Perkovic on the left. McHenry to tap that one away. Schenfeld immediately closed down by Morales. The best young players in the region on display here today. Good opportunity late in the season for these coaching staffs, these clubs, to sort of see what they have with some of these players as they move into the future. Sort of ask the question, who is going to be a part of our group next year? Who maybe will come to preseason with first team or MLS Next Pro sides? There's a lot of questions to be answered in a game like this. As I said, 3-1 win for Miami on June 8th. None of the players who scored in that game on the field here today. And then a 3-1 win for Cincinnati on July 16th. And Stitz got a goal in that game. Otherwise, the other 3 goal scorers not a part of this one as well. So it's going to have to be some new heroes for one of these two teams in this matchup. Cincinnati coming in on better form. 3-1 loss on the road against Atlanta in their last game. 2-0 win over NYC. And maybe their best performance of the season in the game before that. Hosted at TQL Stadium in front of their largest crowd of the year. For Miami, a 5-0 loss for Columbus in their previous match. 2 hard-fought results, a 2-1 loss versus big leading Charlotte in the game before that, and a 2-2 draw at Huntsville. Conte now into the box, early cross played in. Cut down and then cleared away there for Miami. Both teams showing some threat early on. Conte will get forward more naturally a center back, where he played for the most part with the U19s throughout their incredible run in MLS Next, deep into MLS Next Cup. Where on the other side, Matthew Schenfeld played more as a forward and a wing back, so a little bit more comfortable in the attacking third, but Conte getting forward early on here. Horton now. Wide for Stitz. Stitz now trying to go to work. Not a ton of support. Stitz clips it in. And it's headed away by Barton. That's been one of the problems for Stitz this season. He's been so good when he gets into goal-scoring positions, mainly down that right channel. But he wants to find the ball more. He wants to help his team, which you appreciate. The coaching staff has talked about not having him pull too wide or too deep, but staying in areas where he can be on the end of a ball like that rather than the one serving it in. Boatwright turns it over. Horton trying to get out of tight spaces and knocked away by Miami. It'll go out for Cincinnati throw in deep in the attacking half. Stitz can't keep possession. Sarsar Cairo wins it back. Now Pim cycles it across to Sesak. Jensen, a little bit of pressure here. He chooses to play through it calmly to the feet of Montenegro. Ricardo Montenegro will spray it wide. You can see Pim alongside Montenegro. Pim's going to have license to go forward. So a ton of responsibility in killing transition moments in midfield is going to fall on the shoulders of Montenegro. Boat right now. One-on-one against Conte. Gives it back to Flores. Flores early ball, trying to sneak it through for the run of Pim. Stitz now turns it over. Some good ideas right now early on for these two teams. Struggling to connect, though, that final pass. Boatwright comes inside to the feet of Montenegro. All 10 field players high up the field for the home team. The attacking responsibility is going to fall on this Inter Miami group. Cincinnati, a side that will press high, but they'll be more direct in possession and then be comfortable sitting in their block so they can hit in transition in moments like this. Stitz not able to hold himself onside. Took Castellano maybe a half beat too long to get that pass out of his feet. As Stitz will get a talking to from Elton Garcia here for kicking that ball away. Stitz had to hang behind that midfield line. Those are the moments Cincinnati are going to look for. It's a young Miami team, one that should make some mistakes. Cincinnati has to be ready to attack off that. That's why they have those two forwards on the field to hang high and play off of each other in transition the moment they win it back. Up the line to Sesek. Plenty of space here for Morales. Goes down now by McHenry. Now out wide for Sesek. Sesek 3 assists on the year, one of the leading creators on this team as Schenfeld came flying through a couple tackles, and now Miami wins it back. Boatwright brings this one down. Boatwright trying to get to the end line. He pulls it across, and the shot is blocked. Great work there from the debutant starter, Nicholas McHenry. In the right place at the right time. Made a big tackle to protect Paul Walters in goal. So Boatwright, his first opportunity to make an impact in the attack. It's going to be a big part of this attacking group for Inter Miami. He has been a dangerous attacking fullback up through the academy into this second team. Castellano, we saw him sort of shine as a second forward for this Cincinnati team in that win against NYCFC. Scored the game-winning goal in that match, had an assist as well. Back into that number 10 role, so a different responsibility for him here. Horton now the second forward alongside Stitz in this game. And that's where we saw Castellano be really dangerous in that match. Having Dado Valenzuela underneath allowed Castellano to be the one that got on that first ball over the top. And he was able to create for himself and his teammates in those moments. So Horton's going to have a ton of that responsibility here today. Montenegro out wide for Boatwright. Conte choosing to meet his emissary a little bit further out now. After struggling to contain Boatwright deeper in the attacking third. Pim Out wide for Sept. Morales back into the feet of Pim. Flores coming all the way across to get on the ball here. Flores early strike and taken cleanly by Walters. Paul Walters, one of the top performers of the season for FC Cincinnati. Just 19 years old, out of Westchester, Ohio. Chose to leave Northwestern after 1 year of college soccer in 2022. Made one appearance after leaving with FC Cincinnati last year. And now this is 17th start of the year. Part of the first FC Cincinnati Academy class. Walter's been phenomenal at times throughout this season. You can see him potentially having a long career with FC Cincinnati. As a chance here for Miami to put Walters under pressure. And the shot from Pekovic, and it goes just wide. So Miles Perkovic, the two biggest opportunities of this game already for Inter Miami. Putting the back line under pressure, and once again coming back to his favored right foot off that left wing. Excuse me, he took that shot early with the left foot before Kai Thomas could get to it. Back into live play, Cincinnati trying to threaten themselves on the attack. Castellano not going to be given a lot of time as Adams sprays that one out wide. Schenfeld now, he's got a little runway to build up some speed. Early cross from Schenfeld and cleared away by Sarsar Cairo. I want to see Schenfeld be a little bit maybe more aggressive in an area like that. He's got 15 yards to pick up speed against Sept. Make a decision and force the defender to work a little bit more. When you've got so much space, that's a key part of this five-man back line for Cincinnati. We've seen it, of course, in the MLS side with Alvaro Barreal becoming an MLS All-Star. The ability to attack from those wing-back positions is key to the formation being successful. Schenfeld now comes forward to help defensively. He's able to knock it away from Morales, and Montenegro gets enough of a touch to it to get it out wide. Sept, early ball into the feet of Johnson. Machado comes over to defend, and the young Colombian will get called for the foul. Juan Machado, one of the revelations of the season, the 18-year-old, only joined the team midway through the year. This is his 8th start and 11th appearance. Just 18, but 6'3", leaving Colombia for the first time. Settling in, this team brought him along slowly, starting him at left wing back to try and take some of the pressure and responsibility off his shoulders. But once he moved back into his more natural center back position, he has shown a ton of potential as a future big-time player for Cincinnati. So free kick now to come. Taken short to Sept, now over to Boatwright. Boatwright looking to curl it back across. Put back into the 6, headed on, and a beautiful set-piece goal for Inter Miami. And congratulations to Ty Barton. In his debut professional soccer start, he gets his first career pro soccer goal. And brilliant from Miami. They take it short, and then the two players who were sitting on the free kick, they're the ones to make the run to get on the eventual long ball. It pulls the Cincinnati defense apart as they try and scramble to get to that far side. And Barton, good composure to just give it a flick with Walters off his line. Didn't need to generate any power. Just needed to find a way to direct that ball on goal. And in the third matchup of the year, Miami takes the lead for the second time in those 3 matches, trying to win this rubber and take the season series. And a foul called against Inter Miami, trying to close down Machado as Miami starts to surge forward in this one. This portion of the match is brought to you by AutoNation, the official automotive retailer and dealership of Inter Miami CF. Jensen will blast that one long. So far in the two matches, the team that scored first proceeded to go up 2-0. So we didn't have any ties at any moment after that opening goal. How does Inter Miami, though, a young group here, handle this lead? Something they're not incredibly familiar with. A moment for Barton here at Drive Pink Stadium. 24 hours after the MLS side got a huge victory against Sporting KC here at this field as well. These players an opportunity to try and put their best foot forward in front of their fans and many watching from the top down in the club. I know that's the case because their teammate Lawson Sunderland signed a first-team contract just earlier this week, the 11th player already to move from Inter Miami 2 to Inter Miami. Of course, Benjamin Kramaski, David Ruiz, Noah Allen, Ian Frey have had a ton of success coming out of Inter Miami 2 and into the MLS squad. Drake Callender, probably the biggest name of all. Lawson Sunderland, the next in that line. He has been the best performer when I've seen this Miami team this year. Really impressive tempo-setting central midfielder. Scored a couple big goals as well, including one against FC Cincinnati, making the run out of midfield on that goal in the matchup earlier in the year. Sunderland will have a chance to try and impact the team at the MLS level. Of course, his father, the academy director for FC Cincinnati. Brother, a former homegrown for FC Cincinnati as well. So, big ties between these two clubs. This man, Kai Thomas, a Miami native himself. This is Ty Marshall, the Cincinnati coach, former Jamaican international, played a ton of his career in Miami and Florida as well. Henry now coming forward. Gets it over to the feet of Adams. Who's going to try and take this game over for Cincinnati and drive them back into it? Conte gets sandwiched off the ball as Flores, on the back of that assist for him, picks it up. Just the second assist of the year for Alejandro Flores. 17-year-old getting his 9th start of the season on that right wing. Beautifully organized set piece by Federico Higuain, the head coach for Inter Miami 2, as well as Christian Ledesma, his assistant referee, former Argentine international. Well executed by these players. Higuain, of course, finishing his career with his brother on Inter Miami. Really made his name at Columbus. He helped lead them to an MLS Cup final appearance under Greg Berhalter. So Inter Miami, they've stepped off a little bit in this first half as Schenfeld gets on the end of that ball from Stitz. And again, you look for Cincinnati. Stitz drops in, he's able to create. No one there to get on the end of Schenfeld's ball with Stitz deeper on the field. But it was Cincinnati dropping off to start the game, allowing Miami some possession. Miami now doing the same off the back of their goal. Long touch there from Tamaraz. A dangerous turnover. Johnson. Really ball up the field, but the pass looking for Flores down the right wing, intercepted. Miami can't take advantage. Now Schenfeld trying to create the other way. Horton close down. He'll switch the point of attack to the feet of Conte. Stitz once again on the ball. Tamarez a little bit higher up the field, and now Schenfeld down the line to the feet of Stitz. Stitz, his cross is blocked, and it'll be the first corner kick of the game for Cincinnati. So we saw how dangerous Miami can be on restarts. What can Cincinnati try and do to match it? Taken short. Horton drops it back for Conte. Now to Tamarez with some space. Over to Adams. Adams will switch it all the way out wide. Castellano drives this ball in, and he puts it right on the hands of Jensen. Perfect opportunity for Castellano to play that ball anywhere he wanted. And he mishits it right on that near post. So a wasted opportunity for FCC. Pim under pressure. Tamaraz with the slide tackle. Pim battling with him. No foul called. But Morales comes back to help regain possession for Miami. Both these teams like to spread the field wide. Leaves a lot of 1v1 battles. A lot of moments where players are isolated, where a mistake both offensively or defensively can lead to a breakout in the other direction. Martin, just 19 years old, his fourth appearance in the pro ranks, first start. He's going to have a souvenir to take home with him, being on the score sheet, as Flores, who set him up, shows off his footwork. Now Morales. Seeing eye through ball, but it's cut out in the end by Thomas. It looked like Morales had played that one to perfection. Well done by the Parkland, Florida native, Kai Thomas. He started the year playing in the middle of this back three, heavy minutes, as Cincinnati was still settling in to building their roster. London Aguido, who has started over 10 games but not with the group here today, was still at Air Force finishing up his academy time. Joey Apanonu hadn't really taken over as the starter for this team. The first round draft pick, as that shot goes over the top, and Machado wasn't even on the roster yet. So Kai Thomas started in the middle of that back three, but has spent most of the year either at right center back or filling in at right wing back as necessary. So a ton of responsibility on his shoulders now, trying to hold together a back five that's never played together as a unit. Conte and Schenfeld, two current academy players with a combined 5 starts in their pro soccer careers, and McHenry making his debut start. Morales with space. He looks to chip it, and it's just over the crossbar. But that's just a taste of what the 16-year-old Santi Morales is capable of. How few players even think to try this, but Cincinnati gives him time and space. He sees Walters maybe a half-inch off his line. And Morales just tries to caress that ball under the crossbar. U.S. Youth International, Santi Morales. Spent time with the U16s over in Japan earlier this year on a successful trip, playing a couple youth internationals. He's been in the U17 camp as well. An opportunity to pull the strings in. Central midfield, of course, the position his father played so successfully as one of the greats in MLS history. Winning trophies with RSL. And now an assistant coach with Inter Miami's MLS side. As Johnson takes that one over. Henry comes across the field to make that block. Javi Mo, an MLS legend, one of the greats as an attacking player, as a professional. The way he played the game for RSL. The first ever coach for Inter Miami 2, before elevating to interim head coach this year, and now Tata Martino's assistant. Miami scored off their last restart. See what Flores has up his sleeve this time. It was a shortly taken free kick that he got back on the end of last time. This time he'll drive it in. Schenfeld heads it away at the near post. Boatwright's going to let that one run out. And for a young Inter Miami group, impressive to see the way they executed that free kick play. You can also understand for Coach Higuain, you don't have the most size on the field, you don't have a ton of physicality, so rather than just off the ball up for a physical 50-50, show a little creativity and try and create something off the short free kick. Castellano turns it over. Him now is back towards his own goal. Flores pinching inside. This portion of the match is brought to you by Florida Blue, the official health insurance of Inter Miami CF. Conte pokes that one away. Conte, a native of Arizona, played through the Phoenix Rising Academy, RSL's academy, including some time with Real Monarchs, North Carolina FC as well, before finally joining the FC Cincinnati Academy. As I said, has played mainly as one of the center backs in that back five, but has played almost his entire time this year in MLS Next Pro as a left wing back, filling in. Cincinnati hit pretty heavily with the academy graduates moving into college soccer. Back in mid-July, Tyrone Marshall's son, Morgan, who was one of the starting center backs, headed to Penn State. As this shot is off the post. Past the outstretched hands of Walters. And Walters going to be thanking the iron next to him for keeping this game at just 1-0. Him now, down the line for Boatwright. Boatwright gets inside Conte. Boatwright pulls it back. Opportunity here for Morales, and he makes it 2-0. Santi Morales, his second career professional soccer goal, and the 16-year-old doubles the lead. Boatwright knows exactly what he wants to do with this. The moment he gets past Conte, he doesn't panic. He gets to the end line. He sucks in the Cincinnati defense. He cuts it back to the feet of Morales, and the composure from Morales not to rush his shot. He takes the touch. He lets the defenders go past him, and he finds the gap inside the post for a second goal of the year and the second of his career. Israel Boatwright picks up the assist. This is the third time these teams are facing off this year. 3-1 win by Miami after taking a 2-0 lead in the first game. 3-1 win by Cincinnati after taking a 2-0 lead in the second game. So you wondered coming in, which script would this one follow? And so far it is back to that June matchup that Miami took as they look for their second victory of the year, the season series. And to put a little bit of confidence into this group going into their final 2 games of the season. They finish off on the road next week against Atlanta, and then here at Drive Pink Stadium against NYCFC on September 24th. Of course, every team playing on September 24th to finish out this season. These 2 teams already eliminated from playoff contention. A ton of action going on around the league to help decide the final playoff spots. Chicago Fire, too, who are currently the final team in the East in the playoffs, have taken a 3-2 lead at SKC after going down 2-0. They scored 3 goals in a span of 13 minutes of game action. Luka Perpa with 2 of them from the penalty spot. So that is a massive result in the Eastern Conference, which is still deciding those final playoff spots. That would move the Chicago Fire over Huntsville, safer into the playoffs and away from an NYCFC 2 team that took a huge 5-2 win at Columbus on Friday night. Columbus already clinching their playoff spot, but a dominant 5-goal first half from NYCFC, including 2 goals and an assist for Ronald Aravalo. One of the biggest results so far of the weekend. We'll keep you abreast of all those results. The Rapids, as that one's cleared off the line from Johnson. McHenry again in the right spot at the right time. Inter Miami finding a ton of success down the right side of the attack. Flores coming inside. Good run from Perkovic across the entire field from the left wing position. He's able to beat Walters but not get it in on goal. So Flores once again to serve it in. Walters gets a punch coming off his line and will draw the foul as well. Thomas restarts things. Fantastic start to this one for Inter Miami. Cincinnati find that first goal and put some pressure on the home team. Ball by McHenry into the feet of Stitz. Stitz draws the foul. A big size advantage with the 3 center backs on the field, but Stitz chooses to take that one quickly. So we won't see it played into the box to those big players coming forward. Space here now for Cincinnati. Schenfeld can't keep his feet, but he's able to earn his team a corner kick. And now we'll see Machado, Conte, McHenry come forward. Kai Thomas as well will get into the box. That's all on top of the fact that in central midfield, you still have Salim Adams standing at 6'3". So a big size advantage for Cincinnati. Let's see if they can use it. Flicked on by Stitz and not able to get it to get under that crossbar. Dream start to this one for Higuain's side. Trying to get back into the win column for the first time in over a month. for the home team. Well done from Miami to play through pressure, and then I don't know if Pim meant that, but breaking through against Adams, and now Conte recovers it for his team. Machado here off the back line, a little bit of an adventure, and now Montenegro. Space to attack, his shot deflected. Well done there from Machado to take it away from Boatwright without giving up a foul in his own box. Montenegro and Pim have been steady in central midfield as Flores tamely hits that one on the ground into the arms of Walters. Schoenfeld up to Stitz. So Cincinnati hasn't been quick enough when they've gotten numbers ahead of Miami. They haven't been able to force the attacking moments. They've allowed Miami to recover and get numbers behind the ball. Mentioned how young these starting teams are. Really young options on the bench for these two coaching staffs as Horton takes the early strike. We've got two players on the bench for Cincinnati, and Connor Stout and Bilal, who have yet to appear. Giovanni Mora, just 17 years old himself. Part of what is only a five-man bench, including backup goalkeeper Hunter Morse for Cincinnati. It's been the story for them much of this season to not have the full complement of available players going into a bunch of their games. Miami does have a full team available to them. Brian Destin, who has started much of the year at center forward on the bench, as is Lucas Meek and Felipe Valencia, two of their best young attackers. Both coaching staffs, of course, allowed to use 5 substitutes in 3 moments. Halftime does not count as one of those moments. Good ball here from Stitz up to Horton. Horton now attacking Barton. Horton closed down by pink jerseys, and Montenegro wins it back. Recognition there from Montenegro, as well as from Sarsar Cairo to come over and support Barton in that 1v1 moment. Those are the chances Horton is sort of waiting for. Pim back to Sesak. Great Sarsar Cairo. Alongside Sesak, the two senior veterans in this team. Sarsar Cairo went to Nova Southeastern College in Florida after spending his high school days in Argentina, originally born in the United States. He's been a big-time performer for this team. Sarsar Cairo now steps forward into the midfield. Pim with the long ball for Perkovic. Perkovic gets behind McHenry. Perkovic attacking. Walters with the save. And McHenry gets a touch to the clearance. Perkovic now back on the ball. McHenry plays it away. A big moment there for Walters to keep his team in this game. Flores now. He has it poked away by McHenry. The wide attacking players for Miami, whether it's the fullbacks or the wingers, have found the spots in the channels around those wide center backs for Cincinnati. We saw Boatwright get goal side of Conte for the second goal. And now Perkovic. Perkovic back on the ball. His strike blocked. Blocked by a defender, so it'll go out for a corner kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by Baptist Health, the official medical provider of Inter Miami CF. Huge save there from Walters. Now the goal scorer is Santi Morales. serve this one in. Morales headed up off of Horton. Will go out on the far side, so it'll be another corner kick for the home team as we are south of 5 minutes of regulation left to play in this first half. 16th minute goal for Ty Barton in his first career professional soccer start. Coming off a beautifully worked, elaborate free kick. The eventual assist falling to Alejandro Flores, and Santi Morales with the second goal 15 minutes later, set up by Israel Boatwright. As Flores now serves this one in. Cincinnati wins the first header. The shot played in is deflected away. Tamarez now in tight space. Stitz can't keep the ball. Pim gets by the first defender, and then Adams able to clear it away. Two well-worked goals for Inter Miami. Probably second assist deserved on both of them. First one to Israel Boatwright, as well as to the entire Miami coaching staff and team. As Flores comes back on his left foot, early strike, and it bounces wide of Walter's goal. Both of the inverted wingers have been dangerous so far in this first half. Perkovic coming in on his right foot, Flores on his left foot, both as a passer and as a potential goal scorer. Cincinnati would love to steal a goal here late in this first half. That would take a ton of momentum into the halftime locker room for Ty Marshall and his group. Marshall, a graduate of FIU, playing college soccer here in the Miami area. Played for the Miami Fusion for 3 years in MLS before they went defunct, and finished the largest stretch of his career after that with the LA Galaxy, where he had a ton of success. Worked his way into the Jamaican full national team. 83 caps in his Jamaica career. A very unique player to become a coach at this MLS Next Pro level because he played so many positions. That's something a lot of young players struggle with is, I've always been this, I will be a winger or an attacker. I don't want to try these new spots where a lot of these players have been moved around. As Conte's cross comes into the hands of Jensen. But that's what it requires just to get on the field for a young player. I think Ty Marshall, a good coach to give that message to young players about finding your way in your career. As of now, Milton Garcia saying we won't play any extra time at the close of this first half. And it was a successful one for Miami, trying to win the season series in the third match. Two teams split the first two games 3-1 and 3-1, going both ways. And here at halftime, our score, the home team Inter Miami 2, road team FC Cincinnati 0. As Miami tries to get back in to the win column. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This cause hits particularly close to home for all of us here at New York Red Bulls 2 MLS Next Pro. As New York Red Bulls 2 goalkeeper Aiden Stokes, whose 12-year-old sister Sophie is currently battling leukemia. Aiden graciously spoke to us about what the experience has been like for him and his family and the support they've been receiving from the Red Bulls organization.
It's Michelle Montaigne, and today we are joined by New York Red Bulls 2's Aiden Stokes. Aiden, we're talking about life off the pitch today. You have a little sister named Sophie. How would you describe your little sister and what she's currently going through?
Thank you for having me, Michelle. No, I'm just here to talk about my sister Sophie. You know, she was recently, I think a month ago, diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or for short leukemia. It's a type of blood cancer. And it really just hit us out the blue. One day I was at the facility after training. My dad calls me and says that she was at the hospital. Then they took a couple blood tests. A couple days later, they found out she had leukemia. It was very heartbreaking for me and my family. It hit her the most, being a 12-year-old kid. She wants to be outside playing with her friends, go to school, and then that was just all taken away from her. So it was very heartbreaking for everyone. I also want to add what the club has done for her. We have wristbands. They've given her shirts. A lot of the players have supported her in ways we can't even say thank you for. All the support has just been really, really helpful for us.
How would you describe the last few weeks and just months as a family and what you guys have gone through?
Well, it's definitely changed a lot, with rides, such as rides to training, school starting up soon for me. That'll be a big challenge to get started. And then constantly going into the hospital, it affects their work. It affects my sister's life too. She wants to go to school and be with her friends, and she can't do that now. It's definitely affected our life in a negative way, but as my mom likes to say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So we're taking that.
How has her diagnosis in these last couple weeks and months changed how you operate, day to day on and off the pitch?
Certainly the first week it hit me the hardest. During training I was maybe a little off. After training, kind of just like a bit secluded from everything. But I think I was able to process more what she had and was able to understand it more. I kind of tried to roll with it better and just deal with it.
You mentioned all the support you've felt from the entire New York Red Bulls organization. How have your teammates helped you through what has been such a earth-shattering moment for you?
I have a lot of teammates that can relate to what I'm going through right now because they've had relatives that have had the same issues. I'm so grateful that there's such a good group of teammates around me that can relate to what I'm going through, as well as help support me. And again, their support, it's been just amazing. I can't thank any of them enough.
Talking again. You post again, and this time they do score!
Did you know they were making the shirts?
Not initially. I think the trainer came up to me one day after training and just asked me, would you want to have her name on the back of the shirt for the month of September? And I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing. My parents would love that. She would love that. We got her a shirt for herself, so she's been watching every single game. She's a massive Red Bull fan now, definitely.
What is that message that you'd hope to kind of put out there regarding your sister's battle with cancer?
To all the people out there with sisters and brothers, don't take that kind of stuff for granted, because one day it could all turn upside down and then you'll be regretting every moment you didn't want to spend with them. Just love them like there's no tomorrow and take every moment as a special moment. You should cherish every moment you try to get with your family, because only when these kind of things happen do you realize
the kind of quality time that you have with them.
Aiden, you don't just have the support of New York Red Bulls, you have the entire support of all of MLS Next Pro and Major League Soccer. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you guys so much.
Incredibly thankful to Aiden Stokes for taking the time to speak with us and speaking so well for a man so young and going through so much. Our best to him, his family, and of course to Sophie. We're all cheering for her and rooting for her. Turning our attention back to soccer, the playoff races are heating up in MLS Next Pro. Samara tells us more in this week's edition of the Matchday Rewind.
Matchday 25 came in full force. There's now 2 players tied in the Golden Boot race and more teams punched their ticket to the playoffs. I'm Samara Perez with the best bits of the weekend. Last week, only 1 team had clinched out west. This week, there were 3 teams that secured a playoff berth. A dominant 5-1 win over Los Dos sent SKC2 into the MLS Next Pro playoffs for the very first time, thanks in large part to a brace from Ethan Bryant. Another first-timer to the postseason is Verdos. Brett Utley's squad picked up a shootout win against LAFC2. 3-time goalie of the month recipient Damian Loss came up big with a huge save in the 5th round of the shootout. Tacoma Defiance also clinched a playoff spot thanks to a 4-0 win over Timbers 2. Coach Wade Weber, who has been baking his team banana bread after every shutout this season, got a special gift from his players after the game.
And for that banana bread, we figure you're gonna need an apron. And a hat.
That's a little tight.
Well, Coach says the apron is tight. Well, so is the playoff race out west. 4 teams now have clinched and plenty of teams are still in the running for those final 3 spots. Moving over to the Eastern Conference, no new team secured a playoff spot, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't any drama. Crown Legacy FC and Orlando City B had a goal fest on Sunday that featured 9 incredible goals. The East leaders put 6 past OCB's 3 for a thrilling night at Osceola County Stadium. Also standing out in the East were Revs 2, who extended their unbeaten streak to 11 games following a 3-0 win over Huntsville City FC. That keeps Revs 2 within 4 points of Crown Legacy FC at the top of the standings, with OCB, Huntsville City FC, and Fire 2 all hoping to clinch soon. And of course, there was also movement in the Golden Boot race. MD Myers scored again to take his tally to 17 goals. And we didn't get to show you all 9 goals from the OCB versus Crown Legacy game, so we saved Jack Lynn's for now. 2 big goals to pull himself level with MD Myers at the top of the Golden Boot leaderboard. Myers and Lynn are both in great form, and with Nick Firmino and Ibrahim Kasule just behind them both at 15 goals, the race looks like it'll be going down to the wire. With 3 playoff tickets still remaining in each conference and 3 weeks out from Decision Day, the playoff push is still very much alive. We'll see you back here next week with your Matchday 26 Rewind.
Now to the weekly awards, and we have a first in MLS Next Pro. I won't spoil it for you, though. Instead, here's Michelle with the spotlight.
MLS Next Pro's Matchday 25 saw some offensive fireworks and therefore some high-scoring affairs to go with them. I'm Michelle Montaigne with your MLS Next Pro Players in the Spotlight. And those high-scoring games only make it right that a keeper who was able to keep his opponents scoreless earns this week's MLS Next Rising Star Award. Real Monarchs goalkeeper William McKay posted a clean sheet against Whitecaps FC2 to help his club avoid playoff elimination once again. The 15-year-old Academy product forced 5 saves to become the second Real Monarchs player to claim the honor this season. Afterwards, the Rising Star shared how he was able to get it done.
Despite our youth, we're able to get out here and get results, and I think that's a testament to the Academy and the whole RSL program.
Now, on the other end of the pitch, that high-scoring offense that we just talked about, well, that came in the form of your player of the match day, St. Louis City 2's Faisal Batosh. Batosh scored all 3 of City 2's goals to complete the hat trick and give his side a 3-1 road win over Dynamo Dos, making history along the way as this was the first hat trick ever for St. Louis City 2. He saved his 3rd and best goal for last, and so are we, because for the first time ever, the best goal of the match day belongs to the player of the match day. Batosh's 3rd goal came in the 46th minute, a screamer right inside the left goal post. And the best team in the match day is a squad we know is used to winning. Your reigning champion, Columbus Crew 2. Their bounce-back win saw a 5-goal performance, including a hat trick from Gibran Rayo in just the first half of play. Crew 2 earns their first team in the match day honor for 2023. They currently sit in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Congratulations to all of our guys in the spotlight. As the playoff push continues, we're excited to see what guys stand out in the spotlight for match day 26.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights here at Drive Pink Stadium. This, our opening goal. Beautifully worked short free kick. Alejandro Flores, who started it, gets on the end of that cross, puts it back into the 6, and Ty Barton, the 19-year-old in his first career professional soccer start, gets his first goal. Nodding that one past Walters. Boat right here, gets behind Conte, gets to the end line, and he sets up the 16-year-old Santi Morales, who shows his composure in his finish, his 2nd goal of the year, to make it 2-0 here in the 31st minute of this opening half, and that would be our scoreline heading into the halftime break as these two teams face off for the 3rd time this season. Inter Miami started the game on the front foot in possession as they took the lead. They ceded a bit more to FC Cincinnati, but they finished with 54% possession in that first half. Miami, the worst defense in MLS Next Pro, but hanging on to a shutout right now here at home against Cincy. That would be maybe an even bigger point of pride for them than the goals that they've scored so far in this game. A clean game, no cards. Either way, it's been fairly straightforward for Elton Garcia and his crew throughout this one in this first half. Cincinnati, not a full complement of players on the bench, so we'll see if Ty Marshall has any moves he can make here at halftime. On the flip side, for Federico Higuain, he's got a full group of players that he can call on, but you'd have to think with the way that first half went down, he wouldn't want to change anything in this side. A young central midfield that dictated the game and played through pressure a couple times. Good young back line that's played well in this one. In the front 3, on the left, Perkovic. On the right, Flores and Cameron Johnson at center forward, who have been able to create a ton of chaos and chances. We didn't even show the clearance off the line that Perkovic was able to force in that first half. So it could have been 3-0 for Inter Miami in that opening half as we get ready to kick off here. Real feel of 91 degrees at Drive Pink Stadium for this match. Inter Miami, and they're all pink kits going right to left on your screen. FC Cincinnati and their blue kits with the dark blue shorts going left to right on your monitors. Elton Garcia, our head official. Fritz Barbaruz and Juan Pablo Casas, our 2 assistant referees. Jasmine Peralta, our 4th official for this one. The rubber match. These two teams have each won one against each other over the course of the season. Inter Miami trying to hang on to a 2-0 lead here, starting the second half, and try and make it a season series victory for the last place team in the Eastern Conference. Cincinnati gets us started in this second half. Kai Thomas back to Nicholas McHenry. Tom Tamara's across to Adams. Miami putting some pressure on early here in this second half as Walters will send it long. So no changes for either team here at halftime. So we have a potential head injury, so the referee calling on the trainer here for FC Cincinnati, as they have played throughout the year from their MLS squad to their MLS Next Pro team and through their academy. 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. Paul Walters, the 19-year-old in goal. Matthew Schenfeld getting the start at right wing back. Nicholas McHenry, his first start of his pro soccer career at right center back. Performed very well in that first half, put out a couple fires when necessary. Kai Thomas, the middle of the back three. Juan Machado, 18-year-old Colombian left center back, and Harun Conte, the left wing back. Salim Adams and Lucas Tamarez, two central midfielders behind Jesus Castellano. Castellano didn't find the freedom he would have liked in that first half. It will be a key to getting the attack going in the second half. Ben Stitz, his 21st start of the year at the right forward position, and alongside him is Philip Horton. This was his first start in over a month for this team. Flip side for Inter Miami, Cole Jensen gets his fifth start of the year in goal, with CJ Dos Santos elevated into the MLS squad with the absence of Trey Callender along at the U.S. men's national team. Ty Barton and Fareed Sarsar Cairo, the two center backs. Israel Boatwright, the right back. Nick Susek, the left back. It's been Ricardo Montenegro and Jack Pym playing a little bit deeper in midfield than Santi Morales, but good rotation between the three of them, especially between Morales and Pym. Alejandro Flores, an assist on the opening goal on the right wing. Cameron Johnson at center forward, and Miles Perkovic starting on the left wing, but he's been very active coming across this team's formation and finding gaps all across the field. Big tackle there. It falls to Pym. Back to Jensen. Jensen will clear it long. Mistake there from Flores. Miami's able to win it back. I didn't see Cincinnati be able to take advantage of any transition moments in the first half, especially early on. They forced Inter Miami into one or two mistakes in possession. We're not able to hit as Morales springs Sesek down the left side. All the way back into the feet of Pym. Morales, good flick from him. Flores now to Boatwright. Morales lets it run. Johnson's shot is blocked. Santi Morales feeling it here to start this second half. Boatwright with space. Boatwright strike, and it'll go just wide. Santi Morales, the heart of this Miami attack. The back heel lets that run through his legs into the feet of Johnson. Finds Boatwright here with space. Scored that big goal. Had a couple dangerous through balls as well from deeper in midfield, but good to see him up and around the box, able to pull the strings in dangerous areas. Pym will get called for the foul. Morales, wise beyond his years, slowing down the restart for Cincinnati. In Inter Miami's victory against Cincinnati back in June, they did pick up a red card after their third goal, which made things a little more complicated than it had to be. So we'll have to see how Miami learned from that situation, and they can be a little bit more composed in seeing this game out. Conte. Get to the end line. He gets the cross away. It's blocked. It's going to be a corner kick here for Cincinnati. Trying to take some early momentum in this second half. Start this comeback. Castellano to serve this one in. He's got 4 assists on the season. One of the leaders on this team. Machado, Kai Thomas, and McHenry, the 3 center backs, up into the box, as is Conte. The header down from Machado. Open on the top of the 6, was not able to redirect it. But a dangerous moment there for Inter Miami, as they're able to get away with one. Comfortable building out of the back against the team in Cincinnati that wants to force turnovers with their pressure. Hasn't worked for Cincinnati, and a lot of that, if not all of that, goes down to the composure and the quality for this Inter Miami team across these back 6 or 7 players. Montenegro for the run of Perkovic. Once again, pinching in from that left wing spot. It's been successful to find areas for Perkovic, basically playing as a second forward underneath Johnson, off the shoulder of Johnson, as he pulls the center backs with his initial run. Perkovic has found some dangerous areas. Dangerous turnover here. Flores now back on the ball. Off to Pim. Morales. Morales playing with as much confidence as we've seen over the course of this year here in MLS Next Pro. Star in the MLS Next ranks, helping lead Inter Miami to a GA Cup semifinal last year. As I said earlier in the broadcast, starring for the USU 16 national team out in Japan earlier this year. McHenry stepping forward, able to touch that one out. Not able to find a teammate laying that one off. So yesterday in MLS Next Pro, a big victory for the Colorado Rapids 2, clinched first place in the Western Conference. A huge turnaround from last year for Rapids 2. So they will get the bye in the first round. They will host from there on out in the playoffs. A massive result for St. Louis, going on the road and beating Vancouver, which could secure a playoff spot for St. Louis. It could also eliminate Vancouver this weekend with the result for San Jose. San Jose 2 will play against Tacoma later tonight. Right now, Crown Legacy and New York Red Bulls 2 are tied at 1-1 in penalty kicks. So Crown Legacy will not be able to clinch the top spot here today, which is big news for the New England Revolution, chasing them as the Revs face off against Crown Legacy next Sunday. It's going to be one of the best games of the year. The top 2 teams in the East facing off against each other head to head. The number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference on the line. No matter what, this is a good result for New York Red Bulls too. Red Bulls 2 going through this rest of the season without A.J. Marcucci, their star goalkeeper, who's going to be sidelined with an injury for the rest of 2023. Chicago Fire, too, ended up completing their comeback on the road against SKC. This early strike gets deflected, and it goes by Walters. First goal of the year for Nick Sesek. And Miami takes a 3-0 lead early in this second half. It's great movement from this Miami team to play through pressure. And what a day for Santi Morales. He's now got a goal and an assist to his name. He weighted that ball perfectly. So Sesek had a choice what he wanted to do with it. The deflection made things a little tougher for Walters. It may have been going in anyway, even without the deflection. So the Philadelphia native gets his first goal of the year for Inter Miami here at Drive Pink Stadium. What a performance for the home team. Trying to get back into the win column. Two players now scoring their first pro soccer goals in Barton and Sesek. Of course, a 5-year age difference as Barton comes out of the academy and Sesek a good, long, successful career at Indiana University and at Pitt, two college soccer powerhouses. It's all part of the building blocks of a MLS Next Pro roster, pulling players out of the draft, out of college soccer, out of your academy, out of other academies, and of course, acquiring players from around the world. There hasn't been one formula that works or doesn't work over the course of the first 2 years in MLS Next Pro. There's been teams that have built older, teams that have built younger. As this league still finds its feet and still a ton of learning to be done for the people part of building these teams. As Boatwright set a early cross in, and Adams able to get a touch to it before Flores could take it over. Stitz now trying to push the counterattack. Coming back in field. Waiting for the run here of Schenfeld. There just has not been numbers in the attack for Cincinnati when they've been able to get forward as Stitz lays that off to no one. This portion of the match is brought to you by AutoNation, the official automotive retailer and dealership of Inter Miami CF. Home team trying to make it 2 wins in less than 24 hours here at Drive Pink Stadium. Machado heads that one away. So after this, Miami will go on the road to face Atlanta, who are trying to stave off their playoff elimination in Huntsville right now in a game that just kicked off. The final Eastern Conference game to kick off here on Sunday. Tonight, Portland Timbers host Houston Dynamo and Tacoma Defiance hosts San Jose as the 2 late games out on the West Coast. And then Inter Miami will finish off at home against NYCFC. NYCFC team that'll be rooting for Atlanta United too to try and save their potential playoff hopes. NYC cannot be eliminated this weekend after their victory. Philadelphia as well cannot be eliminated after their victory. But time's starting to run out for those 2 teams as they try and jump up the standings. Morales, he's already got a goal and an assist, and that cross took a deflection, and Walters had to make a tough save on it in the end. Pim Feet of Morales. Perkovic out wide for Flores. Flores now. And he's closed down by Machado. Looks like Pim took a little bit of a hit after he played that ball in midfield. So Crown Legacy takes the shootout victory over New York Red Bulls to a red card for both teams in that matchup. There's going to be a big result for Crown Legacy in trying to hold on to their spot in first place in the Eastern Conference. Saw at halftime, Crown Legacy, unbelievable 6-goal performance in their last game against Orlando City. They've done it all in the attack and defense. They've been one of the best in the league on both sides of the ball. Patrick Ajamong, one of the best all-around players in the league. They've got good stability in central midfield and at center back. Now bring in Chituro Adunze in goal as well to challenge Isaac Walker, the goalie war champion. Castellano gets by Morales. Morales drags him back.
Yeah. Okay. 62 blue. 62 blue. Yeah, he's near me. He's near me. Orange feet. Right in front of you.
Boat right. A huge part of the lead in the first half. It was his ball served in to Flores to lead to the first goal. He had the assist on the second goal as well. Thomas, not the return to his hometown that he was hoping for. Starting at the base of that 3 center back setup for Cincinnati. Alice just brimming with confidence here in this second half. Anytime he's near the ball, it's much-watched stuff as Sesic, off the back of his goal now in space. Back to Perkovic. Pim looks away, finds the feet of Johnson, and Johnson puts it over the top from a tight angle. Could give us time to make the first 2 substitutions for Ty Marshall. So he's got his 2 players ready to go on the sideline. So it will be Brian Destin coming on in place of Cameron Johnson. Destin has started much of the year for Inter Miami 2 at the center forward position. This is 15th appearance. On the flip side for Cincinnati, not a ton of experience coming on the field. Gio Mora, just his 2nd ever appearance, and Connor Stout making his MLS Next Pro debut for this FC Cincinnati group. Mora coming on as a like-for-like change for Lucas Tamarez. Stout coming on in place of Harun Conte. Miami also bringing on Joe Converse as a like-for-like change in midfield for Jack Pym. As this cross gets played in, headed down by Stout. Cleared away. Castellano over to Adams. And finally, Inter Miami able to sweep it out to midfield. Shaky moments here with the two subs coming on. Really good performance throughout the game for Jack Pym in central midfield. A ton of responsibility here on Converse to pick up where he left off. Schenfeld has a piece of him taken by Perkovic, so it'll be the first yellow card of the game issued to any player. Pretty clean game so far between these two teams. Perkovic leaving his feet there, always going to put yourself in a dangerous spot with the referee. So the free kick now coming. Substitute Stout's left foot standing over this one, along with Jesus Castellano's right foot. Stout will serve it in. Flicked on. Opportunity here in the box, and it's saved on the line by Jensen. A point-blank save on the chance for Stitz, and I don't know how Cole Jensen kept that out. Flicked on a header. Stitz beyond the back line. Maybe it would have been called back for offside. But beautiful work there from Jensen to react quickly. The Xavier University grad, his 5th start of the year, makes a big-time save to try and hang on to the shutout. Cairo able to play through pressure, and now a chance to break out. Cincinnati preparing their next substitution. There'll be another debut, this time to Ryan Bilal. Young Cincinnati group here, trying to put together what would be a miraculous comeback on the road. Stout off the turnover, up the line to Stitz. Stitz, big ball down the middle for the run there of Mora. And Stout have brought some energy to this team early in their time on the field. Gio Mora making his 2nd appearance in MLS Next Pro. Joined the academy back in 2021 for FC Cincinnati. Made his debut back on August 19th against Columbus. And that hell is real rivalry that Cincinnati still has one more to play. That'll be their next game at home next weekend against the reigning champions and their Ohio State rival before Cincinnati finishes the year on the road at Orlando. So it will be Ryan Bilal to make his debut in place of Philip Horton. Sub of the game, 2nd window used by FCC. This portion of the match is brought to you by Florida Blue, the official health insurance of Inter Miami CF. Flores on his dangerous left foot again. He's trying to float that one up for Morales. Morales gives him the applause for the idea and the attempt. Not able to complete it. So Destin now will set the pressure from the front. For Cameron Johnson, he did a lot right this game. Made the runs to pull the defense around, created the openings for his team, but as a goal scorer, you always want to get on the end of things. Johnson still only 2 goals on the year. Stitz receives the pass from Morris. Stitz now with the strike, and it's off the post. First opportunity for Stitz in the run of play to even get a look on goal. And he almost beats Jensen at the near post. Mora's run pulls the help defender. Stitz knows that. He knows if he can get to his right foot, he's going to be able to drive that one on goal. Gets his laces on it cleanly, but denied by the post in the end. So we've seen both teams now hit the post. Schenfeld will go all the way back to McHenry. Machado back over to McHenry. It's always hard to say that a player had a good game on a defense when you give up 3 goals, but I think it will be a positive first start for McHenry as a young player on the road, the way he performed. Mora now picking up the ball between the lines. Can't complete that final pass. Perkovic up to Destin. Destin cutting in. Morales trying to find the give and go with Destin, knocked away. Cincinnati now. If they score, it would follow the exact script we've seen. 2-3-1 matches between these teams, a win for both sides. Miami now leading 3-0 here at home. It will end up being a home team victory in all 3 matches between these sides over the course of the year. Austin FC taking an early lead against Minnesota out west to put a real dent in Minnesota's chances of making the postseason. They came in to this weekend as the final team in right now in 7th place in the West. Houston, the team right behind them, still to play later tonight. San Jose, the team just in front of them as well. Austin trying to hang on to 2nd place, which will mean the first pick of who their opponent will be in the postseason. So the first round of the playoffs, the top teams in each conference will have a bye. And then the 2nd place team will get first pick of who they want to face off against. I've talked to a couple of teams here over the course of this week, front offices and coaching staffs, about how they'll go about that process. And they have said they're not quite sure yet. Nothing like we've ever seen in, I'd say, professional sports, but definitely in the world of soccer around the world, in getting to choose your opponent. The question is, do you pick a team whose style fits up best against you? Do you pick a team whose form is the poorest going into the playoffs? Do you pick a team who you've gotten the best results against already over the course of the year? It's going to be tough to make those decisions, and it's going to be unavoidably bulletin board material. The team who gets picks first is going to go in and saying, you wanted to play us, we want to prove you wrong. And there's nothing you can do about that in making that pick. It is interesting. I talked to one person, and I said, the 2nd place team picks first, then the 3rd place team gets to pick and then the 4th place team will play whoever's left. They did mention you could pick the 3rd or 4th place team. So if you look at the Eastern Conference, if the Revs finish 2nd, they could choose to face the New York Red Bulls, who are 3rd in the 1st round. I don't think you would. The possibility does exist, which means a different team could get to choose. So it means you have to show up prepared for whatever could happen, similar to any draft you play in. These teams, of course, will get to be a part of that playoff draft, but I think with it being so new, everyone will have an eye on it to figure out what best practice going forward will look like. We saw with the way teams have built this year, a lot of people watching Columbus last year. That's how all of these sports leagues work. They're very copycat. And what works, everyone tries to recreate. What doesn't, everyone runs from. Inter Miami getting ready to make their next 2 changes. It'll be Lucas Meek, who scored the opener in that victory back in June against this Cincinnati squad, to come on, as will Ezekiel Abdia-Reda. Schenfeld with the interception. And the foul called against Perkovic. And back the other way, and I think that will give us a chance to make the changes. A final window used here to make these subs for Inter Miami. So that'll be it for Israel Boatwright. A really strong performance from him, as well as Miles Perkovic. Boatwright, he had the 2nd assist on the opening goal and officially had the assist on the 2nd goal to Santi Morales. So a big game for him, as well as Miles Perkovic. Thought he was really good on the left side of that attack, playing much of the game as a 2nd forward. Now an opportunity for Meek to come on, a like-for-like change. These moves will mean Nick Sesek will move to right back. And Ezekiel Abdia-Reda will move in here at left back. Mora coming forward. And Stitz takes another shot from a tight angle. This one's saved by Jensen. Morales here, a pocket of space. Ball over the top for Destin. Walters off his line, and Walters will get to it first. Morales pulling the strings here once again. FC Cincinnati are forced to commit numbers, trying to get back into this one late. Sixteenth minute opener for Ty Barton. Early lead for Miami to protect. They doubled their lead 15 minutes later through Santi Morales' 2nd goal of the year. And then Morales set up Sesek in the 56th minute to make it 3-0. Abdia-Reda. Start play here on the throw-in. Meek chasing. A good year for Lucas Meek out of the University of Washington. 4 goals and an assist over the course of the season. Missed all of 2020 with a torn meniscus, so didn't get to put his best foot forward coming out of college soccer into the pros. I think this is the type of year that shows you're back and capable of being a difference maker whether it's for Miami or another team, after he had 16 goals, 13 assists. Named second all-region and all-Pac-12 in his time with the Huskies. Morales now over to Meek. Meek looking to make it 4, and it's saved by Walters. Walters has come up with a couple big saves. He does it again for his team. He's trying to keep them within touching distance. Stitz. It's been a frustrating night for him. Just hasn't had the support he's seen when he's played alongside Kimi Ordonez throughout the season. As we saw in the game against NYC with Dado Valenzuela and Malik Pinto in the team. Just always had numbers around him, players to play with. So the UPenn grad forced to carry most of the load in the attack in this match. This portion of the match is brought to you by Baptist Health, the official medical provider of Inter Miami CF. Corner kick coming up here. Good performance from Connor Stout in his debut off the bench out of the academy. It's an FC Cincinnati academy that has basically had to restart itself post-COVID. Given the opportunity to join Major League Soccer somewhat last minute, so the academy really coming along as the plane is in the air. Already seen some players make a difference. Steven Jimenez, huge part of the MLS Next All-Star team for the Eastern Conference. We've seen Valenzuela play, Kimi Ordonez. Ordonez, of course, having a ton of success in international play as captain of the Guatemalan U20 team that made it to the U20 World Cup. Feels like Cincinnati has something special brewing with the players they've brought into their academy. Of course, a tough spot in coming into an area with an established club like Columbus already there. But you look at Matthew Schenfeld coming from Kentucky, a region that didn't have an MLS team in close proximity, but has a great history of soccer, college soccer at Louisville and University of Kentucky, as well as big academy teams throughout the state. Of course, the ability to pull players from all over the country now. Served in, headed on by McHenry. I think it took a touch off of Thomas's hand. So the whistle blown there. For Miami, they don't need to pull from very far. Miami, one of the soccer-rich hotbeds, not just in America, not just in the region, but around the world. When you look at the players that have come out of this area, of course, Kendall and Weston, two of the most successful academies in the U.S. over the last 30 years. A number of players like Alejandro Flores in this team have come from those two clubs. Miami just pulling the cream of the crop into their group. Still seen Kendall and Weston be successful at MLS Next ranks, making it across multiple age groups into MLS Next Cup. Multiple teams making it all the way into the quarters and semifinals. Just shows the amount of talent in that Miami area. And now Benjamin Kramaski, David Ruiz, the way they've performed in the first team, Noah Allen as well. Feels like the floodgates have opened, and Inter Miami is probably going to start being mentioned in a conversation with the Dallases, Phillies, New York Red Bulls of the world, who are able to win at the MLS level using players out of their academy. As Schenfeld's cross is off the hands of Jensen, he's able to take it down under pressure from Ryan Bilal. Converse doing well there in midfield, filling in now for Pim. A number of players are going to get some positive reviews for their performance in this Inter Miami side, but with Lawson Sunderland signing that first team deal earlier this week, a really good evening for Montenegro, Pim, and Santi Morales against, I think, the strongest part of Cincinnati's starting group. Ghanaian youth international Salim Adams, Lucas Tamares coming over from the Hoffenheim Academy, and Jesus Castellano, a Venezuelan youth international. For Miami to win that midfield battle, I think is huge for those young players. Bilal here is still onside, and his cross is blocked by the slide tackle. Sarsar Cairo, wearing the captain's armband for a reason, up 3-0, puts his body on the line to try and protect the shutout. To Miami are going to bring in Felipe Valencia when they get an opportunity. In place of Alejandro Flores, and that change will happen right now. So Flores leaves with an assist on the opening goal. He and Perkovic both coming inside off those two wing positions. A phenomenal performance for them. A great night for the 17-year-old Flores. Now Valencia, the first homegrown signing in Inter Miami history, will get a chance to help see out. It was going to be one of the best wins of the season for the home side here at Drive Pink Stadium. Contact on Jensen. Considered too strong. So the foul will mean a restart for Miami. It was a restart in the first half to help them take the lead. It's going to be a point of pride for the coaching staff whenever they're able to affect the game in any way like that. It often goes down, and a lot of staffs to the goalkeeper coaches as the set piece specialists. It's definitely defensively, sometimes as well though offensively. So Chris Barocas, his fourth year with Inter Miami, coming over from Orlando City. There's the head of goalkeeping, as well as Christian Ledesma and Federico Higuain will be able to celebrate that opening goal, but you have to think for Inter Miami, the game ball's probably going to go to Ty Barton, 19 years old. Got his first start of his pro soccer career. Right now, he is potentially going to be a part of the first shutout of the year in a victory for Inter Miami. And he's sitting on the winning goal, the first of his career. A special night for a lot of young players here in this one. A special weekend for Miami as they are going to get their second win here at Drive Pink Stadium. Can't get much better for a club than the way things are going right now for Inter Miami from top to bottom. Proof that the current is strong and the future is bright on a weekend like this. Outside of the football from Adams up to Stitz. Stitz now clips this one on goal. Wasn't able to wrap his foot around that one, trying to find the run of Bilal. And Jensen will take it down. Strong night for Jensen as well. He had the one big save against Stitz from inside the 6. Whether it was offside or not, didn't matter, as he stood up to the challenge. We are now into stoppage time, so on the discretion of Elton Garcia, our head official for this one. Schenfeld gets clipped from behind. It'll be a minimum of 2 minutes. Destin. A little bit of an uphill battle for him. He's trying to get back into the starting team for these last 2 games. Inter Miami are going to go into them with confidence, coming off this victory. Head to Atlanta next Sunday, and then all of MLS Next Pro will be on the field on September 24th to close out 2023 season, the second every year of Next Pro. The league has grown in numbers and in strength from year 1 to year 2. A lot of excitement when you look at the atmosphere Huntsville has built in their first year, the success of Crown Legacy in their first year, the turnaround for the Colorado Rapids in their first season, the follow-up year from reigning champions Columbus at historic Crew Stadium, as well as the performances of St. Louis City in MLS, pulling so heavily from their MLS Next Pro team that they put on the field a year before their MLS expansion last year that made it to the Next Cup final. So it's a special first season. It's been even better here in year 2. We've seen players moving through the ranks that have become difference makers in Major League Soccer and international soccer for national teams, not just the US, Canada, and Mexico, but around the world. For Inter Miami, it is going to be the best night of the year. A 3-0 home victory. It means 2 wins to 1 loss over the course of the year against Cincinnati. So the last place team of the Eastern Conference takes the season series here at Drive Pink Stadium against their rivals from Ohio. It was an opening goal for Ty Barton, the first of his pro soccer career and his first ever start. But who else for Ardita's man of the match? Santiago Morales, the 16-year-old number 10. He scored the second goal of the game. He had the assist on the third goal. Look at the composure from the teenager. Bypasses the defender, slots it into that near post for his second goal of the year, making his father proud and showing why he is one of the best young attacking talents on the planet. So a 3-0 win for Inter Miami. It's been a good weekend at Drive Pink Stadium for this club, and it continues through Sunday night here. Well, for myself, David Goss, and everyone part of our broadcast here at MLS Next Pro, thank you all for watching. Congratulations, Inter Miami, and have a great night, everyone.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.